Young men playing video games all day, not stepping out of the house and interacting with other people. Oftentimes, these young men are not as confident as they would like to be. No, I'm not suggesting you to be a man that can attract multiple women in a single day. No, to be a real man, or at least have the feelings of being one, you don't need to have a woman beside you to validate your worth. It's about having a clear sense of what you want out of your life in any given moment and actually working towards getting it. This is why I'm making today's video. For all the young guys out there who are probably experiencing some of the things I was experiencing back in the day. Trust me, I used to be one of those young men who also had no purpose and was basically sterile. These feelings were horrendous, okay? It was so horrendous that I tried to hide them by, you guessed it, playing more video games, or doing some other meaningless activities like hitting the bars, getting drunk, and whatnot. And it's not like these young men want to be this way. If you ask them truly, deep down they want to change and be the kind of man they aspire to be, that has confidence, has that sense of groundedness and centeredness, that feels whole, like a real man should be. And then this big underlying problem often contaminates other areas of their lives, socially, career-wise, friends, and their overall being in this world. These men oftentimes attribute their lack of masculinity to the external conditions of their life. Like, I'm not masculine enough because I don't work in a Fortune 500 company, or I'm not masculine enough because I'm still single until now, or I'm not masculine enough because I just don't have the confidence to speak to a room full of people. But what I'm trying to get at here is you can still be masculine without having any of these things. First, you gotta fix the fundamental issue, your lack of ability to penetrate in this world, so to speak. And then, usually those good things in life will come by later. So, this is my personal tip on how to be more masculine. This might sound strange or even psychopathic at first, but killing your father is one way to go about it. Not killing him like really killing him, but killing him in your mind. Oftentimes, we men live our lives based on the expectations of our father. Because he's our role model early in our childhood, he's the strongest person in the family, and we wish to be as strong as him. He's sort of the guy we look up to, follow him wherever he goes. But when our idolatries for him become too much, oftentimes we dare not go against him. Every time he tells us to do something, like what kind of job we should have, what kind of wife, how we should dress up, how we should behave out there, we kinda become limited. Like, we have different desires and perspectives on life, and it's extremely difficult to align them with our father's wishes. And back in the childhood, usually going up against your father was the scariest thing you could have ever done. It's like you knew if you messed up, there's a chance he could abandon you for life, while you're still small and innocent and not strong enough to stand up for yourself. So that fear kinda gets carried forward into your future. It's like you become so inherently afraid of your father that you let his wishes dictate your life. And when you have no authority in your own life and no meaningful say in it, you could lose your ground as a healthy male. So, how do you kill your father in your mind? In theory, it's very easy. Do something for the sake of your freedom and happiness, regardless of what your father has to say about it. If you have to get out of your father's house and do it alone, prepare yourself to do it right now. Even if you have to put yourself at risk of being secluded from your own family, you have to accept it. Anyway, it means nothing if you've become a respectable person in your family, but really, that's not the kind of person you want to be. And on closer look, it's not exactly the fear of your father that's been stifling your growth the whole time, but it's your dependence on him for everything in life, from shelter, food, clothes, and whatnot. And the thing is, sometimes your father loves having dominion over you. Like, he doesn't mind taking care of you, as long as you don't grow up to be bigger than him. That's the real problem you have to see. That people want to have as much control over you as possible, including your father. Sometimes even in the name of loving you and knowing what's best for you. So, killing your father is about taking your independence back from him. What you can do for yourself, never give that responsibility to your father ever again. Do everything you can to be a self-sufficient, self-respecting individual. Read books, learn new skills, get a mentorship, basically everything that will enhance your survival without needing anybody to get it for you. And by doing so, oftentimes you will get your father's respect. At first, probably he's getting a little uncomfortable with your growing masculinity and the fact that maybe you could even be the stronger male in the family. That's normal because it's like you have a different personality this time, but eventually you will get his respect. And that's like one of the biggest things any man could ever achieve in his life. To be on equal standing with your father, or maybe even higher.